it's Laifa. How are you? Wow, I'm really excited today. Okay, so welcome to another episode of Inktober / Blacktober / Sketchtober / I'm just doing this until my spirit says we don't need to do this no more. So I just thought I would rewind a little bit. Starting off, I'm back in the same sketchbook, the A5 sketchbook, using a HB pencil to sketch, and also going in with a 4B pencil for the shading. This time round, the person I am drawing is Little Simz. She is a British singer, rapper, actress, and also played the character Shelley in Netflix's Top Boy, which is on Netflix. Gosh, I'm not going to do much editing, so if I ramble, just bear with me, okay? I'm still on this Top Boy flex because I just feel like it's such a great moment for the culture, especially Black British culture, and I just want to continue on that. So I really liked her character, or should I say I liked seeing Simz act in this character, because I think I'm very stereotypical when I see female rappers, and I do love female rappers. I think they're all, like, the ones that are out there that I like are extremely talented. But there's something about a rapper, most particularly female rappers, because of that edge, having, there's this edge to them, and it's very cool, and it's a bit of grit that isn't necessarily there in, a female singer per se. So because of that edge, I almost see them I don't know if it's a different light, but I see them with an edge basically. So it was nice to see her in a role that took the edge off of her and just really brought the feminine out of her. I enjoyed that. I liked seeing her in this role because she was so soft and so feminine and so, like a normal girl. And it was really nice to see her in this way because I had never really seen her in that light before. And especially because I don't necessarily follow her music, but I know of her and have known of her within the sort of music circuit, if that makes sense. The image that I'm drawing from, I will put it on screen either now or later on, but it was a black and white image, and I don't know where I took it from, if I took it from Instagram or just Googled it, I can't really remember. But it was a black and white image, and it was had lots of very dark areas and not much light. But I just liked the pose, I liked her hairstyle, I liked her earrings. I just liked it. So I thought I would give it a try. I'm not sure if it came out that well, but hey, neither here nor there. I think the longest thing for me was drawing the hair, which I'm getting into now, because I don't know if these are real locks or faux locks, but I found it just whenever I'm drawing hair, I've only ever drawn, like, suppose afro, kinky hair, because there's so much texture to it. It's quite a long process, and getting it right, especially if you want to have a complete image. So filming myself drawing the hair, it was starting to drag, and all that stuff. I rubbed out the chin there because I realized that I felt her face was a little bit too long. So I'm just drawing the dark and light as I see it. And sometimes I just go off on a tangent and use my memory and just kind of draw what I think. But back on this whole Top Boy discussion, and Is it good for the culture? Is it good for black people? As I said in the last episode of Inktober, I don't think it's not necessarily whether it's good for black people or white people. It's a gangster movie. So you could say that about any gangster movie, and people have this notion of, oh well, it's this stereotype that, you know, all black people from inner London are like this. And you'd think that, you know, people are smart enough to think otherwise, and I get that people are not necessarily smart enough to think otherwise, and that's why I did say, if we're the ones complaining, we should be the ones doing something about it. If we want to see different images of ourselves, portrayals of our stories and all that sort of stuff, we should be the ones to write it and not leave it up to somebody else, you know, that sort of thing, or look for those stories. We should be seeking out those stories, because I believe that they're out there. Maybe it's these sort of stories that get publicized the most because it's what a lot of people can relate to. And myself being from, as I said, I'm from an inner London area. I grew up in quote unquote what you would say is the hood, or ends, or bits, or whatever you would call it. But when I watched the movie, it did not feel like my reality. I'm so far removed from it, and I think there's a lot of people like myself who can say that, yes, I grew up in such and such area, but I'm not of that area, as in, you know, I'm not associated with that lifestyle. I don't know what it's like. I didn't grow up on the streets. I didn't do this. So like, I'm very I suppose I'm not street savvy in that sense. And obviously growing up in certain areas, I'm aware of what happens. I'm aware of what goes down, but that was not my reality. That was not my lifestyle. I do have obviously friends, and you know, you have friends and schoolmates and your peers. There are obviously people that you would know somewhere or the other who may be involved in certain things, but just because they're involved doesn't mean that you are. These might be just associates or acquaintances, and not necessarily your close-knit of friends. And once again, I preach the gospel. I think it's a really good movie. I think it's great for the culture. I think, yes, we do need a complete, you know, opposite of I call it a movie, but a series. You know, maybe we need a complete opposite. Maybe something that is a bit more wholesome or comedic, or just is a bit more light-hearted and not so heavy for those of us, or those who want that sort of thing. But I believe there's probably stuff already out there, but maybe it's not being funded, maybe it's not being pushed. And even if it's not out there, who says that we shouldn't be the ones to write these stories? If we know that these stories exist, we should definitely create them, because they're real. Yeah, but that's my rant on the whole Top Boy, still going off on it. But back to the image. As you can see, I've, started drawing the locks, and there were a lot of locks. So after a while, I did get a bit lazy with it and started to just shade, and I left it because I felt like if I continued, maybe because of the technique that I have, or the technique that I suppose yet to master, I felt like if I continued, one, it would take too long and I might lose much of the detail. And the image is so beautiful. Like the hair looks like an almost, what's the word I'm looking for? The hair looks like a sculpture in itself because of how it's, put up. It looks really beautiful. But yeah, I don't know what I was doing there, if I dropped my thing on the floor. But yeah, I really enjoyed drawing this one. Although, as I said, I got a bit impatient towards the end and I didn't complete the hair, just because I want to be able to do these little sketches in, I suppose, an hour or an hour and a half or less. So I don't want to spend that much time on it. So yeah, this is the final piece, or I should say this is where I stopped. out of just feeling like I needed to move on. It's not complete, but I just felt like I'm going to stop there. Otherwise, I'm just going to be shading and scribbling, and I was losing my way with things. Maybe I was a bit tired. Thank you so much for watching. Do give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't done already. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. And until my next video, think smart, work hard, make it happen. Bye.